Well, just as I signed off, I picked up a McDonald's order, but I gotta look at the screenshot that I just took to make sure I read that right. $27 for 1.4 miles. I gotta see this.
The Silver Dasher.
Morning. It's Tuesday. I'm in my car and I'm gonna get ready to start this breakfast dash. Boy, yesterday was wet, at least yesterday morning. It was a gully washer. So let's go ahead and get this started. Let's see what the app says when I start it. No questions. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I wonder if I get an order as I'm backing out. Keep your fingers crossed. Nothing yet. Oh well, I guess I'm not lucky today. Hopefully it doesn't transfer for the rest of the day. So anyway, heading off to my first station. So we'll see you in a little bit. Well, after about a 30-minute wait, I finally got an order. In fact, I started my main base of operations, which is near Starbucks. Nothing happened, so I moved to my secondary base, which is Jack's, and then within 5 minutes, got a Jack's order. So that's where I'm heading. Well, I've already picked up the order, so I'm heading to the customer. It's one of those, oh my God, why did you take one of those orders? Well, because no orders are coming in, so I'm taking it. So here I go, off to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Jack's order, and it took me way out to an area of where I lived I'd never been before. Well, I take that back. I've been out this far, but it took. Basically, I went north of the city, and I've been out there several times in a certain area. But now it took me another 5-6 miles beyond that. So this is the furthest north I've ever gone from the city. Not quite deliverance country, not quite. It's still decent looking out here. A mixture of old homes and mobile homes. But it's very quiet this morning. It's cold. It's 54 degrees outside. Cold. That's for us. It's cold here in the deep south. Yeah. So anyway, I'm definitely out of the zone. So I'm heading back. The good thing though is that I'm going to be north of the gauntlet. So as soon as I get into range, I'm going to be running the gauntlet. Hopefully I pick up something. Hopefully. And not many restaurants are open for breakfast that we normally tend to think about. So anyhow, so wish me luck. Keep your fingers crossed, and see you in a little bit. Well, I'm running through the gauntlet, and I picked up an order for McDonald's. But it's one of those orders that the more veteran dashers who are in high population cities are going to pull their hair out. $3 for 7 miles. No. Well, this is only my second order in almost an hour and a half. So, beggars can't be choosers. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that McDonald's order. And the lady gave me $4 in quarters. And I gladly accepted it. Money is money. I don't care if it was quarters. Hell, you can give me pennies. It's $4. That's a $4 tip. I could tell she was, slightly embarrassed, but like I said, you treat like my dad said, treat everybody the same with dignity. And because you don't know the customer circumstances. She was embarrassed because she didn't give me bills. I said, look, money spends, you know. Hell, quarters. When I was a kid, I told you, I don't know if I mentioned it, but when I was growing up, my dad was military. I worked as a bagger in the commissary, bagging groceries. Hell, you know, we got a quarter, 50 cents, we were happy. $1, we're ecstatic. Hell, getting the quarters, I would get this, and I would spend, after a couple of weeks, rolling up all the quarters I got working for tips, and then I would go to the bank and deposit them. But unfortunately, some of the quarters didn't quite make it to the rolls because there was an arcade next to the commissary. So this was old school, when Pac-Man first came out on the arcade. The very first arcade for me was a game called Space War. It was kind of like it was vector graphics, and it was before asteroids. It was like the cursor. It was just between you and another guy. You had one ship that looked like the Enterprise, and the other one was just a triangle-looking thing. But most of the arcades back then were pinball. I was a pinball machine fanatic. So yeah, some of these quarters didn't quite make it to my rolls that to deposit into the bank. But I was a teenager. I was in high school. But I did save. I saved a lot of money, and I was able to buy the things I always wanted to buy. Back then, the latest thing you could buy was like a record or a cassette tape, for music. But and then later on, I became when I graduated high school, went to college. My first 2 years of college was in Germany. Went to American University there. It was the University of Maryland. Maryland had a contract with the military to provide college courses, not only to soldiers. They had each army base in Europe had a place where college courses could be taken for credit and stuff like that. But they had a main campus in Munich, Germany. That was a great time. Great time. Been to 3 Oktoberfests. But yeah, I worked part-time as a computer lab assistant. That's how I make some money. And my first semester, I was able to get a scholarship from high school that paid for everything. But everything else, I worked through school. First 2 years at the university in Germany, I was a computer lab assistant. It was enough back then. Of course, college was a lot cheaper. But I paid my way through college. Then when we came back to the United States, went to a local university. I worked McDonald's. Then I worked Wendy's night shift because they paid more. So I worked Wendy's at night and closed. And then I went to school during the day. And so that was my life for 3 more years. The first year, I spent 3 years finishing up my college courses. The first year there, I worked fast food, but the last 2 years, I worked at Sears, retail. I worked in men's clothing. Back then, Sears, their suits that they had were not tailored. You had to get them tailored, so you had to measure the inside and inseam on customers and have the pants be taken to be altered or tailored. Arnie Palmer suits, and that was famous at Sears. Then later on, you could buy suit pants, and they had what they call the separates. But yeah, sold men's clothing and shoes for the longest time. I worked my way through college and the money I made at Sears paid for my college. It paid for my books, for my tuition. Of course, I lived at home That's why I said I went to a local university. So I lived at home, so I saved a lot of money there. So yeah. So when I graduated college, I had no debt. Of course, became stupid and got debt later. So that's a story for another time. So anyway, I got an hour left in my dash. I think I'm going to hit the Jack's and sit there. But today is slow, man. You would think it's a Monday, but it's not. It's a Tuesday. So anyway, heading to Jack's, and we'll wait there and see what happens. See you in a little bit. Well, I got the Jack's parked for 1 minute and picked up an order from McDonald's. So McDonald's, here I come. So we'll see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that McDonald's order, but it sure brought a lot of memories. I looked at that name, and then when I saw the address, I said, I think I've been there. Sure enough, when I first started DoorDash, in fact, this is before I got this car, I was driving my Tundra truck that got old real quick. And so I was just, very first week, starting to learn the DoorDash. It was the first full, I was only doing a couple hours a day until I get started. Then when I started doing the breakfast and the lunch. This customer right here was one of the first ones that I delivered in my early career. But what makes it memorable, I delivered to this customer 2 days in a row. And there was another customer, and it was kind of ironic, exactly, around the same time. And in all cases, it was always a McDonald's order for this customer. It's been now almost 3 months, and this is the first time I've been back to that customer's house, and I know when I saw it, I knew exactly. Small little house right on the main road, little gravel driveway. So my first time learning how to navigate, people's driveways and stuff like that. But yeah, going down memory lane a little bit there. So anyhow, I got exactly 30 minutes left in the dash. I think that's only my third order. No, that's my fourth. No, it could be. Can't remember now. I have to look. So hopefully they at least get one more order. It's been very slow this morning. I mean, you would think you would think it's a Monday. No, but it's Tuesday. But what's also been delaying also is a couple of the orders that have got me stuck in school traffic. So that took up some time. When I went out there, that very first order went way out north. I got caught in school traffic coming back. So anyway, heading back to base, and hopefully pick up an order before the dash is over. So in other words, I'll see you in a little bit. Well, I got to my station in Jack's and picked up a Burger King order, which I took. This is only my fourth order, and this will be my last order because it's taking me to Lincoln. Not much pay, but boy, what a terrible morning. What a terrible morning. It's tough when you DoorDash in a small town, rural, not much going on. Again, it's like, lately I've been taking a lot of orders to Lincoln. Or anybody here buy stuff to be delivered? So, off to Burger King, and then to the customer. And then we'll see a little bit. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, I just dropped off that Burger King order. It was to the same person that I dropped off Burger King order yesterday. And this time I made sure I got the extra strawberry jelly that she asked for last time. And I told her I brought her extra jelly and she appreciated that. So, anyhow, ooh, what's going on over here? Got police lights and everything going on. So anyway, my dash is over. Very poor dash. I think I only got 4 orders. So anyhow, when I get home, I'll give a summary. So see you in a little bit. Well, I'm finally home. It's been a slow morning. At least it wasn't raining. But yeah, it was slow. I only got 4 orders for a total of $23.74. Actually, it's actually $27.74 because I got $4 cash tip. So, yeah, only 4. I usually average, let's see, how many offers I did Monday? See, I get 6. Usually I get 6 deliveries, but it was so slow. It was so slow. Anyway, I'm going to take a break, eat some lunch, and then we're going to do lunch here in a little bit. So, in the meantime, I'll see you later. Bye. Well, welcome back. It's now time for the lunch dash. So let's go ahead and start the app and see what we get. Any questions? Ooh, no questions. All right, okay. Let's go ahead and get this started. Hopefully lunch is way better than breakfast. Breakfast was horrible. But it's feast or famine time, feast or famine. So anyway, heading to my base. So, see you in a little bit. Well, I was parked at my station for about 5 minutes and got an order. It's a stacked order. I go to Cracker Barrel first, then I go to Subway. So, interesting combination. I wonder if it's the same customer or 2 different customers. So, we'll see in a minute. So, see you later. Well, that wasn't too bad. I delivered the stack orders, first Cracker Barrel, and then I picked up Cracker Barrel and then Subway. And the Subway was at the local Walmart, and the Subway was delivered to the brand new hotel across from the Cracker Barrel, but they wanted the Subway. But yeah, whoever built that hotel, they did a poor job because they are already tearing up the parking lot, and they've got a sewage problem. Yeah, brand new. I mean, it's only been open 2 weeks. And then I delivered the Cracker Barrel just right across the interstate, so not too far. So I'm heading back to my Cracker Barrel station. The only reason I used to park at another restaurant nearby, but Cracker Barrel has nice flat parking spots, so I don't have to worry about too much about it. Where I was parking before was kind of like on an incline, so I like flat. Anyway, well, back to the station. Hopefully I get something here real soon. So, in the meantime, see you in a little bit. Well, just as I signed off, I picked up an order, but this time it's back to Walgreens for shop and deliver. So, let's see how this works out. See you in a little bit. Well, that was probably the easiest shop and deliver I've ever done. It was only 2 items, and the items were exactly where the app says they were supposed to be. I went and checked out. Checkout was easy, and the drop-off was just a couple miles away. So I'm like, that was done. So that's, like I said, that was the easiest one I've ever done so far. So anyway, I'm now in the middle of the gauntlet. I'm going to head back to Cracker Barrel as my parking station, and hopefully I'll get an order here real soon. So in the meantime, we'll see you in a little bit. Well, just as I signed off, I picked up a McDonald's order, but I gotta look at the screenshot that I just took to make sure I read that right. $27 for 1.4 miles. I gotta see this. All right, see you in a little bit. Well, just as I was getting ready to talk, got an order to Outback Steakhouse. Now, as far as that McDonald's drop off, it was just a simple little meal to an employee at the CVS. And it was $27. I think he made a mistake. Well, his lesson learned, my game. So, off to Outback Steakhouse. Here I come. And then to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, that was a very pleasant delivery. The person I delivered to is I've delivered. This is like the 6th or 7th time I've delivered to her, and I've met her. Just waved at her a couple times, but this time I had to hand it to her, and I said it was nice to meet you. Finally get to meet you. I've delivered many times to this house, and she was a very pleasant lady, very pleasant. And then got a bonus. The next door neighbor came out and they were petting the kitty cat. And I said, "Oh, is that your cat?" Yeah. I asked them, would they mind if I took a picture? I said, "No." So I took a picture of the kitty cat boy, and spoiled rotten, just sitting there all regal. You can tell she's semi outdoors because they had their garage door open just enough for a kitty cat to get in. So I think she's mainly an outdoor kitty. So yeah, got to meet a repeat customer. Got to see a kitty cat. Yeah, that was a pretty good delivery. So, and then I got $27 on that McDonald's order. Can you believe that? So, anyway, head back to base. Hope to pick up another order here real soon. See you in a little bit. Well, I've been sitting here about 5 minutes, and I just picked up an order to Zaxby's, which is just right over here. So, on the Zaxby's and the customer. See you in a little bit. Hello. Well, I just delivered that Zaxby order, and it was another pleasant surprise. Came back to another house that I visited that very first or second week that I started doing DoorDash full time. I mean, it's a trailer park, but this is a house next to the trailer park. It's right on the water, very nice. And they did a lot of cleanup. I wonder if they're new owners, because last time I was there, it was pretty trashy. But now it's really nice and cleaned up. You can see where they picked up all the debris has been shoved up and piled, and yeah, they've done a good job cleaning that up. It's pretty big. So, and I'm driving by. If y'all remember, I delivered an order to a sod farm. Sod farm right here. In fact, there it is right there. There's that beautiful house. Huge acreage. So, anyhow. So, anyway, heading back into town. Hopefully to get another order real soon. So, see you in a little bit. Yeah, I just had an order pop up for a liquor. $7 for 17 miles. And I said, okay, that's too much. That's almost triple the mileage for the money. So, I'm not doing that. So, now my acceptance rate is down to 98. So, yeah, I may try to take all orders, but that's way too many miles. Now, if it was $15 and a little bit more money for 17 miles, like if it was $15,
feet, turn left onto Hardwick Road.
So, yeah, if it was a little bit more money, and still under, I would have taken it, but not. That's almost triple the mileage, so I'm not that stupid. I may be dumb taking a lot of these underwater orders, but that's way too much. So anyway, I am now redirecting myself, not back to base, but I'm going to try and go, since I'm way out here, I'm pretty close to the northern end of the gauntlet. So I'm heading to the northern end of the gauntlet, and now I'm going to run the gauntlet and see what I get. See you in a little bit. Well, after about a 15-minute wait, heading to Burger King. So let's go, Burger King. See you in a little bit.
It's a 2-day trip if you go by car, so yeah. Me and Mama don't do airplanes. There you go. DoorDash.
Pardon me. Well, I just dropped off that Burger King and dropped off at another repeat customer of mine. In fact, I think I mentioned this is the house I delivered to that I used my body camera for the first time. And after I dropped it off, I got another order. It's another shop and deliver. But this time I'm going to CVS, which is right there. In fact, this is the same place where I dropped off and got that $27 McDonald order. So anyway, off to CVS to do shopping and then on to the customer. We'll see you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered that shop delivering from CVS, but that was a hard one because everything she wanted had to be substituted, except for 1 or 2 items. But everything else had to be substituted, and it just took forever. So I also understand why people want to shop at the drugstores, for some items. One of the drugstores, to me, they're overpriced. They're just there for the convenience. But why ain't you shopping? Why not? Or like for me, Kroger delivers out here. That type of thing. But anyhow, that was a trying time. So I've got 35 minutes left in the dash. Pretty decent dash, especially with that $24 McDonald's order. Was it 24 or 27? I can't remember. But head back. Good thing is I'm out of zone, but I'm about to go in and hit the gauntlet from the north end. We're going to run the gauntlet and see if it beats me or not. So we'll see in a little bit. Well, the gauntlet did not win. Close. I was pulling into the Cracker Barrel parking lot and got a Jersey Mike's order. This is probably going to be my last dash. I got 20 minutes left and I got to make my way across the interstate to get the Jersey Mike's, and I got to make the delivery. Of course, everybody and their brother are coming by here and I can't get out of the Cracker Barrel parking lot. I swear, it's like, as soon as one side clears up, the other side fills up. So, anyway, on the Jersey Mike's and then on to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered that Jersey Mike's, and once again to a repeat customer. I think I've been to this person's house about 3 or 4 times, but I've been to that neighborhood many times. But yeah, my dash has officially ended. Did really well, only because of that one order. If I hadn't had that one order, it would have been okay. But I'm not complaining. So anyway, I'm heading home, and when I get there, I'll get a brief summary of the day. So see you then. Bye. Well, I'm finally home. Long and strange day. But yeah, this was different. Boy, I spent most of the time delivering to repeat customers. I mean, I think like over half of the offers that deliveries I did were to repeat customers. So anyway, here's what the summary is. I made $77.19, and that's probably because I got $27 from that McDonald's order. And looking at this, it was a DoorDash pay of $25 with a $2 tip. Wow. So with the total of $77.19, that was 9 deliveries. That's probably the most I've done in a lunch in a while, except for when I did last Saturday. In that special case, I did 12. Dash time was 4 hours and 8 minutes. So yeah, this was a very, very unique day. So we'll call it a day. So I hope you enjoyed following me. If you like this video, please select like. If you enjoy what I'm doing with this channel, I urge you to subscribe to it and help me build the channel. And so that'll be it for tonight. And I will be definitely dashing tomorrow and Thursday, barring anything that happens. I might have to skip a day or whatever. So anyway, so enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you later.